He wanted me to come out at 11 o'clock last night. Sack that. We had a hard time seeing where it goes. At least I did see where it goes. As Greg mentioned, it was an effort to restore this bird, and I'll explain why it was so important here shortly. But it was a team effort, and it's always good to see something that I flew this airplane many years ago, as well as Fred. It's always good to see it come home and be restored to the dignity that it deserves. So thank you to Greg and to the museum. But B-52 0612 represents our proud national heritage, and we all have a commitment to recognize that and preserve it for all generations that come. We're here today to pay tribute to the legacy of this magnificent icon, a strategic pillar of freedom and the American way. The B-52, the air crews that flew her, and the maintainers that maintained her. And here are legendary defenders of our republic and the projection of America's national force on the world stage. In January of 1957, pardon me, 5 B-52s took off from Castle Air Force Base on a round-the-world tour. It was actually a mission of great importance. The flight covered about 24,235 miles in 45 hours and 19 minutes. And this was the first non-stop around-the-world flight by jet aircraft. It demonstrated Strategic Air Command's ability to deliver a nuclear weapon anywhere in the world. And questions that I often get asked is, how is it that the B-52 has maintained an active role in our national defense force structure for so long? In the post-World War II era of change and advanced technology, the concept of this B-52 aircraft was accepted by the Air Force in 1948. In 1948, that was 78 years ago, that engineers sat down in Dayton, Ohio, and scribbled out a design and statistics to present to the Air Force and created this bomber. The first prototype B-52 flew in 1953, and the first production model, a B model B-52, was delivered in September of '54, and the first unit to receive the B-52s was none other than Castle Air Force Base, the 93rd Bomb Wing, in 1955. This bird here is a Model B, the B model B-52, and it was assigned to the Air Force in 1957. The last model in the series of B-52s was the H model, and that was operational in 1961, and it's still flying today. Now that is a high cost-benefit ratio, if there ever was one, and it makes the taxpayers very happy. And at $7 million a copy, I think we got our money's worth out of this airplane. But to answer the question of how the B-52 is able to stay operational in our arsenal of bombers is because early on, the Boeing Airplane Company was staffed with engineers that were aggressive, enterprising, can-do attitude. It was post-World War II. They were young and anything was possible. There was a great deal of knowledge learned about swept-wing airplanes from the B-47, which was a predecessor to the B-52. And Pratt & Whitney, a maker of jet engines, was refining the J-57 engine, which is on the airplane. So there were a lot of things, there was a lot of chemistry that was in the right formula to make a really effective airplane industrial military transition. And then the Air Force bureaucracy, I have to be careful about saying this, but the Air Force bureaucracy had not developed to the point where it swallowed up leadership and allowed relatively junior officers in the Air Force to make key critical decisions in the development process.